Hey, I'm Kai Sally Covio.
And I'm Sydney Steiger.
And on today's episode of Party Like a Mother, we're going to talk about breastfeeding versus formula feeding.
Oh, there's so much to unpack here.
So there's a lot.
Breastfeeding is like the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Same. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, seriously, I never thought. And the crazy thing is, like, me picturing my past self, like even me from high school, or just like the younger version of me, picturing me with the actual baby on my fucking tit. It's like I would have never fucking thought that was gonna happen.
Like, usually your titties are for like sexual reasons, and now you just have a baby just like drinking milk. Like, it's like there's no in between.
Exactly.
It just goes from being titty in your face, like have a guy on your fucking tit, and then it's like baby. Like, there's nothing in between.
Yes. I hope that after Minka turns 1, I hope that like I start seeing my boobs as my boobs again.
Yeah.
Rather than just milk sacks. Because like I feel like I don't even want Eric to even touch them. No tongue, no fingers, no nothing, because I feel like that's her bottle. And why would you like want to be putting your grubby little fingers on her bottle, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that like after I stop breastfeeding that they become my boobs again and more of like, a sexy thing.
Yeah. Something that they can actually touch without milk squirting out. Speaking of milk squirting out, let's just right into it. So, like, as we all know, like, I was such a horn dog when Mia first came out. This is so embarrassing and hilarious that I actually did this. Mondo was like, he would always look at me and I'm like leaking all the time, and he's like, squirt some milk into my mouth, and I'm like, no, you freak, like, no. Tell me why I did it, and it was actually fucking hilarious. And he's like, what the fuck?
Did it actually go into his mouth?
And he's like, why the fuck is it sweet? And I'm like, I don't know.
It actually went into his mouth?
Literally, yeah. Well, first, like, because you know how like you push back and then you go up, right? Like, and it squirts and like out. That's what I did, and it got like all over his face, but some of it went into his mouth. And this wasn't even like in a sexual way. Like, this wasn't like some like fetish shit. This was like randomly he was sitting down, and he was like, squirt some of that milk into my mouth, and as like a joking type thing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. You're like, okay. Say no more.
Because I thought it was just so fun. It's so fun when, I mean, my boobs don't do that anymore, but like, it's so fun when you're like squirting it and it just like shoots out like that. It's like, I think it's hilarious.
I know, like sometimes when Minka's eating, she'll have her mouth on the boob or whatever she's eating. She's like, she comes off and it's still spraying. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
I always laugh so hard when that happened.
Did you see that picture I posted the other day of, what was her name?
Halsey?
No, it was the girl who was breastfeeding.
No, Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham. Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah, I think so.
Graham?
No, definitely not that.
I literally don't even know who she is. But I saw that picture because People Magazine posted it. I didn't even follow People Magazine either, but it like popped up on my feed. And I fucking love that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was in the fucking comments hating. Like, I don't know if you saw.
No, I just looked at the picture. I don't look at the comments because it just pisses me off when people talk shit about breastfeeding.
I thought people were going to be like, beautiful, like, this is so, like, this is real nature right here, like, nature of a human and this and that or whatever. Mm-hmm. And no, everyone was like, this is great and all, but something should be kept private. Yeah, that's what
Like,
they were saying. Like, some things should be kept private. And I was like,
no, it
bitch!
fucking is a part of nature, you assholes. Like, what? Like, why should it be kept private? Boobs are made for this. It's not our fault that people sexualize boobs. Like, they were made to feed babies.
And when you see a fucking cow, a baby cow, what's a baby cow? A calf? When you see a calf guzzling up some fucking udder, are you like, oh my god, no, no, no. Like, no, we're fucking animals too.
Literally.
Wait, are we animals? We're mammals.
Yeah, mammal.
Are we animals? Are we animals? Or, oh, animals and then there's humans.
I mean, species, right? I don't know science. I don't know. Don't fucking ask me.
I don't know. I mean, I consider myself a fucking animal. A wild animal.
I mean, this
No,
is very, it's like a very, like, animalistic type thing. Like, it's very just nature and
exactly
natural thing. So I don't understand why people have the need to be like, put your boob away. Like, I'm feeding a child. Like, this is a baby who literally cannot fend for himself. Like, and you want to tell me to put it away because you're uncomfortable? That seems like a you problem.
Exactly. Like, the other day when we went on the fucking lake, we went to Big Bear Lake. I brought my breastfeeding pill and I fucking fed her right there on the lake. I didn't want to fucking put like a blanket over or whatever.
No, it's too hot.
I just whipped out my boob and fed her and it felt so good and I felt like one with the nature. And I didn't even fucking look around to see if people were staring, but they were probably like, oh no, she didn't. Oh yes, I did, bitch. It shouldn't be a big deal.
When I was breastfeeding, that's how I felt too. Like, I would just do it like in the car or like, well, I didn't really go anywhere that much, but I would just do it in front of like my family, or like the doctor, and some like male nurse would come in. My tit would just be fucking out, like, and I'd be like, hi.
Oh my god! I have a funny story about that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when we were in the hospital, we were on postpartum care or whatever. Yeah. And there was a trainee nurse, or he was getting his hours.
Me too. I had a trainee nurse.
Yeah, okay. He was getting his hours, and it was a guy. Yeah. And he just came in to, like, you know, do an IV or something like that. And he had left, and then a few minutes later, he came back, and my nipples were so fucking sore, cracked, bleeding, everything. I used okay, oh my god, this is actually really hilarious, and I think kind of interestingly so stupid. But I did this poll on my Instagram, and it said, what do I need to bring to the hospital? And people were saying breast pads, nursing bra, this and that. Tell me why I just ignored the breast pads part. I literally free juiced it all over the fucking hospital. Like, I just leaked on everything. I did not use fucking breast pads, and none of the nurses told me anything about breast pads. I had the bra. Yeah. I didn't even use it. I used a robe, and then I fucking had my, okay, so back to the story. I had my robe open. I was laying back in fucking pain.
Fucking tits out.
Tits the fuck out, burning and all, from the little chomper. And then I had the lanolin cream on my nips, so they're like shining, glowing, glistening in the hospital light. And this fucking male nurse walks in, and he's like, he looks at me, and I just like did the nod of like, up, and then he just fucking left. I'm like, dude, like, you're gonna be fucking working in this shit, you can come in. Like, I don't know if they tell you to respect their privacy or whatever if they have their tits out, but I feel like a woman nurse would have totally walked in. They did every single time, so I feel like a man nurse should be able to do the same thing, especially because I was obviously welcoming. I was like, what's up, like, and he just got so scared. He was like, oh sorry, and then he left.
Well, that brings me to kind of a story about my breastfeeding journey. So when we were in the postpartum care, I also had a male nurse, and he was so helpful, but he was also so terrified because I just had my tits out all the time, especially because I literally could not breastfeed. Like, I couldn't feed Mia for 3 fucking days. Oh. The nurses were constantly coming in trying to help me breastfeed, and it just, like, it's not happening. It fucking would not happen. Like, she would chomp and bite down. She wouldn't, like, I don't know, like, what is it called?
Suckle.
Like slurp. Yeah, suckle. So I had a fucking shit ton of doctors just coming in and out, like hands on boob, fucking
putting the boob into her mouth.
Yeah. And like, you know how like you massage the boob for the milk to come out? Like I literally just had doctors like on my boob and I'm just sitting there tits out letting someone else fucking letting someone else like try to feed my baby because I literally could not do it. And this one nurse, she had come in and she stayed in my room for like 2 hours up until I had to leave. It was like the last day. And for 2 hours, she was trying to coach me on how to breastfeed. And like, so she was just like, she had her tits on, like, not her tits, ew. She had her hands on my tits and she was just like squeezing and trying to show me how to do it. And like, we were trying different positions, trying fucking a nipple shield with the nipple shield fucking hurt. And I was like, no,
Really?
not doing it. It hurt. Like, because it was so long and Mia wasn't sucking, so she was just chomping anyway. And so
she was just like chomping the end of the nip or something, probably.
And it wouldn't like go through the nipple shield. Like my nipple wouldn't go through it. So she was just trying to that fucking plastic, you know, and everything. Like it hurt. But the fact is, like, these people saw me struggle. They saw Mia, quote unquote, losing weight because she had apparently lost like 13 pounds by the third day, which I think they just got her weight wrong because there's no way she lost 13 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they saw her weight declining. They saw how much people came in to help me, and they didn't offer me fucking formula.
That is fucking insane.
That last lady, she was like, after the 2 hours, she was like, you know what, like, I'm not really supposed to do this, but I'm gonna go grab you some formula. But I'm not really. She
said I'm not supposed to do this?
She literally said I'm not supposed to do this. Like, and it
She was a lactation consultant, right?
Yeah. And
wow, she said that she's not. Wow.
Yeah. So they like don't give a fuck. Like they're like, you need to breastfeed, you need to breastfeed, you need to like, but it's like, if you are seeing that this baby is losing weight, you are seeing this person fucking struggling, why wouldn't you offer formula?
That is fucking inhumane almost, you could say. That is like, fucking disgusting.
My baby's not eating.
You see a baby's fucking starving.
Yeah. You're basically watching my baby fucking starve.
And not one person, as many as fucking consultants came in and out, as many as regular nurses came in and out, none of them said, well, have you thought about doing formula?
None.
Wow.
Not fucking one.
Wow.
Except for at the end of my stay, where she was like, here's like a couple things of formula if you need it. You can put this in, and there were ways that I could still practice breastfeeding and give my baby formula. Like there's like the skinny little tube that you attach it onto your boob, and the baby like learns to suck from it, but is also getting more milk if milk's not coming out of me. So, but no.
But it's formula?
But it's formula. It comes out of this tiny little tube. But no, they didn't fucking offer me that either. And I was just like, you guys just let me fucking struggle and you let my baby not eat because of what? Like, I'm confused.
Because I bet that, I mean, based off her comment, I shouldn't do this, that I bet that's what they're trained for, and that is really fucking sad.
It's really sad.
That's what they're trained to do. That's so fucked up.
Even then, after that, like, I could no longer breastfeed, and we'll talk about our journeys and whatever. But even then, I was talking to like my normal doctor, and I was like, yeah, like I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I physically like could not produce milk anymore for whatever reason. And she's like, and she was the only doctor that said, it's okay, like try on the next one. Who cares as long as your baby's being fed? Because all the other doctors were like, nope, you need to breastfeed. Nope, you need to breastfeed. No, you need to try this. And there's milk. I mean, not milk. There's tea and there's treats and there's this and there's that. And I'm like, why can't anyone just say it's okay to formula feed? Like, why couldn't anyone just fucking tell me instead of standing there watching me struggle? And why couldn't you just say it's okay, use formula?
That pisses me off so fucking much, because it's like, breastfeeding is so fucking hard, and yeah, there's the health benefits and this and that, and that's why they are probably taught, because their health workers or whatever the term would be. But you have to gauge the importance of the baby eating and getting nutrition rather than trying to get to what they think is the better nutrition. Trying and trying and trying and being so clearly unsuccessful. Like that, it's just fucked up. And it was taking you like 2 hours to get. I remember you sent me a picture and you were, or I don't know how long it was, but like I remember it was like a really long time that you were pumping, like, and only like 1 ounce came out into the pump.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
There were fucking times where I would pump 7 ounces, and then there were times I pumped 5, and then the 2-hour ones I would pump like 2, and I'm like, that's not fucking enough. Like, she is eating 4 or 5 ounces and I'm only pumping 2, and I don't have formula. I didn't really like have backup formula to like mix at that time. So when I was making 2 ounces, she would wake up, drink the 2 ounces that I pumped, and then she would come and try to breastfeed with me, and I would have fucking nothing, and she would be like screaming because she's fucking starving, and I had fucking nothing to give her. Like, my boobs would not produce more.
I can't remember. Did they check if she had a lip tie?
No, they didn't.
Because that could have been it.
I have no idea what that is. Can you tell the audience?
So a lip tie, I don't even exactly know what it is, but so a lip tie is like something with the way that their lip or like the bottom of their tongue or something like that developed to where they can't suckle properly to properly stimulate the boob. So when they drink, you can see that their tongue is kind of like a taco, like onto the nipple. And I don't think their tongue can like taco onto it if they have a lip tie. And I remember my mom, because I remember I was telling my mom that you were struggling, and she was like, oh, well, does she have a lip tie? I guess that's a really big contributing factor. And if they didn't mention anything about that in the hospital?
Oh, I think they did. The lactation consultant that stayed with me like the last few hours that I was there, she would put her finger in Mia's mouth and see if she would be able to suck, and she was. It was just me, I guess. And I drank all the mommy milk teas. I ate all the fucking lactation crackers and cookies and oatmeal and more fruit and vegetables in my diet, and it just like was not fucking working. And I would drink a shit ton of water and not fucking working at all.
Yeah, you tried it all, and I literally...
You were just like, here I am, milk machine.
I didn't have to do any of that. So like it really depends like on your body, because I didn't even eat that much.
I know. Yeah, I would eat a shit ton and you'd be like, I had a cracker, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And the sad part is because I didn't even have time to fucking eat. Like, she was so addicted to the milk. Like, I say that, but she wasn't actually. But, like, it seemed like that to me, who had never had a baby around me in my entire life. Like, for fucking context, Minka, oh my god, I almost said Mia. Minka was the first baby that I've been around, like I've held, changed a diaper, everything. She was my first with everything. I never babysitted a baby. Minka was really like my first experience with everything with babies. So to me, it was like, what the fuck? There's no fucking way that they eat this much, because everyone's saying you have to feed them every 2 hours. Okay, then why is mine like on me for 2 hours straight?
When you told me that, I was just like, Cindy, I don't think that's right. Like, no, she's just cluster feeding. I'm like, I don't think she should be on you for 2 straight hours. Like, that's a lot.
We stayed at the hospital as long as we possibly could too, and we had the consultants coming in and out. Like, every time they came in, I really like tried to soak up all the fucking knowledge I could, because I knew nothing at all. And I was like we're gonna go home and there's not gonna be anyone to help us, so I need to fucking learn now, you know? So I stayed, and all Eric's family were like, you guys are still there? Like, what the fuck, is this a motherfucking hotel? And I'm like, well, there is room service, so but I'm like, yeah, because like I am not ready to leave yet. I need to like master this shit before I go, because it was so hard to get her to like learn how to suckle. Well, once she did,
You were just like attached. She could not come off.
oh yeah, and then Eric would always tell me, because this is what the consultants told us, and he like grasped onto this, and I was just like, okay, I guess, with the cluster feeding, because they said, you know, she's gonna be cluster feeding, and it's gonna seem like, what the hell? And so then every time, like Eric would try to like put her to sleep or whatever, she would start cueing 24/7, and he's like, oh, she's cluster feeding, here you go, cluster feeding, here you go, and I'm like, there's no fucking way she's fucking hungry. She has eaten for 2 fucking hours straight. Like, come on, man, take a fucking turn.
Literally, no pro.
And up until maybe like 2 months ago, she's 7 months now, so yeah, up until like 5 months, she'd eat every 45 minutes. It wasn't every 2 hours. Ever since she was born, up until 2 months ago, when she was 5 months, she'd eat every 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
And that was our normal.
I would notice that, and I would be like, Sydney, are you okay? Like, because for me, like, I'm a very scheduled person, you know? Like, not to say you're doing anything wrong. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, for me, I'm a very scheduled person, and, like, you're going to eat 2 hours, and that's it. Like, you're going to go to sleep in 2 hours, you're going to eat in 2 hours. Like, I'm very, like, that type. Mm-hmm. And so when you were saying, oh, she's eating at this time, and this time, and then I'm like, what's happening?
Because at first it was so hard. Mm-hmm. I had moments where I was literally fucking losing it. Like, I was so fucking tired. I was awake every 45 minutes, 24 hours around the fucking clock. And she would eat for so long. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't like a sleeper. She wasn't a sleeper. Like, she did not like to sleep. So there was times where I was literally like rocking like a fucking basket case, crying like, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? And I didn't want to tell anyone, because it's like, obviously I shared that with Eric, but like I didn't want to tell anyone how fucking hard it was, because I just felt like this is what I had 9 months to prepare for. Mm-hmm. This is my duty. This is my fucking challenge. This is my life. I have to fucking do this. Mm-hmm. There's no way around it. There's no choice. I have to fucking, I have to do it. And also, I made that fucking goal to breastfeed. And as long as I kept producing milk, I was gonna fucking do it, There was one time where Eric had to like take Minky away from me, and I just had to like cry a little bit, and then once they calmed down, I was like, all right, bring her back, let's do it again. And I just popped her right fucking back on. It, like, breastfeeding is fucking hard. The hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I've been through some shit.
It's very fucking hard, especially because, like, not only could I not produce, but it was the fact that it gave me anxiety. Breastfeeding gave me so much, like, intense, instant anxiety. And I don't know, I saw this somewhere, I'm probably getting it mixed up, but it's something about dopamine levels, like either it rises or it lowers. I feel like mine fucking lowered, because as soon as she would latch on, I just felt a drain in my body. Mm-hmm. Like, all the emotion just drained, and I instantly got anxiety, and it wouldn't go away until she was off of me. And
yeah, that's why it's so... Wait, sorry, go on.
No,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's why it's so cool that you and I have like such, we had babies at the same time and everything, but our experiences were still different.
Yeah.
Like, our points, or our perspectives and everything, because your dopamine levels dropped, and you sent me that article, I believe, of like where it said that, and then I had read things about how, your levels, I don't know if it was dopamine levels, but oxytocin or something like that, rises
Mm-hmm.
when you breastfeed. And that was my experience after, it was more pleasant after we got the hang of it. But yeah, like I always feel so good, and you tell me like you would tell me it just like gives you so much anxiety, and I'm like, bro, what is the fucking world against you on this one? Like,
Yeah.
fuck, like you
Like,
can't fucking produce. You fucking get fucking raging anxiety when you're breastfeeding. It's like, and why is no one fucking mentioning formula?
No one. Like, I mean, like, okay, so my mom and Mondo were like, it's okay, you can formula feed, and I'm like, I would be crying, like, no, I want to breastfeed, I should be able to do this, like, this is who I'm supposed to be. And so I kept pushing back because I just felt like a terrible person because of all the stigma with with formula feeding. And so I would just sit there and struggle, and you could see just like on my face, as soon as she would latch, just like my entire face would just go blank because I'm having a major fucking panic attack every single time. And it took me, that's also what influenced me to stop breastfeeding. I breastfed till she was 3 months, barely 3 months. Like, I was trying so hard to stretch it out, but as soon as I had like decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore, my milk was just like gone, like gone. Like, nothing would come out, barely anything. Just like at certain times when I would feed her at nighttime is when I would have the most milk, because that's when I would mainly breastfeed, is at night. But during the day, nothing, gone. Like,
it's almost like your body was sort of rejecting it.
Yeah, it really was. It takes like a few weeks for people to stop breastfeeding. Like, I was watching videos on when I decided that I was gonna stop. They're like, oh, like, you'll be super engorged, you'll be leaking, use cabbage leaves to put on your boobs, and whatever else it was. And I was just like, okay, like, I'll prepare for that. I literally did not get engorged. Like, the milk just stopped coming, and that was it. Like, there was nothing else I could do. It just stopped automatically, and I was like, oh, okay.
And how did you feel the first time you gave her formula?
Oh, I cried.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a happy thing, but I understand.
I cried because I just felt like such a failure, because I did have that same goal as you, like a year. So I felt like such a failure, but Mondo really helped. He's like, it's okay, like, she's still being fed. Like, it's good for you that you don't have to do that anymore. It's good for your brain. And that, because I was already struggling with postpartum depression, and then battling that with the constant anxiety was just too much for me. It was too fucking much. So,
and then what do you know? Her weight started going up.
Her weight fucking sky fucking rocketed. Like,
in a healthy way.
Yeah, she was on track for everything. And I don't know if it's because of the formula, but she started doing more advanced things too. Like, at 4 months, we had went to the doctor. This is totally off topic. But 4 months, we had went to the doctor, and I was already breastfeeding her for like a month. And like how you have the little bench that you put the baby on, or like your kid on, and it has like the sheet to keep it like protected or something, like a little paper sheet.
That parchment paper.
Yeah, she was ripping it up at 4 months, just like tearing it the fuck apart. And the doctor was like, you're not supposed to do that. And I was just like, oh, at least she's not like, like all this stigma is like, oh, if you formula feed your baby stupid, and the baby's gonna grow up stupid, and blah blah blah. And I'm like
they're not gonna have the same developmental milestones or whatever they say, or that they just say that when you breastfeed that they're gonna be smarter. That's pretty much what they say, and that's not even fucking true.
It's not fucking true. It's the same fucking shit. The same thing that's in formula. It's the same shit that's in breast milk. It's just coming out differently from different places. One's manufactured and one's not.
And it's 2022. Like, they have the fucking formula that's literally as close as you can get to fucking breast milk.
Yeah.
They have formula that literally has colostrum in it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Literally has, yeah. And I'm just like, I think that's what I was afraid of. I was just like, because I've heard all the stigma, and I know like a lot of women feel this way too. you just feel like fucking shit because you're like, oh, my baby's gonna be fucking stupid and dumb because of all the formulas. And I'm like, she fucking was thriving. As soon as I gave her formula, she fucking was thriving and advancing so
Mm-hmm.
quickly. And that's when I realized, I was like, formula is great. Hell yeah, it's expensive. Also, we're in a formula shortage, so that's fucking hard.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that's scary.
but it's still good for your baby. They're still being fed. They aren't gaining a shit ton of weight. Like, she was not even gaining weight with my breast milk. That's also another reason why I stopped, because she was just like not gaining enough weight, and she would not.
Yeah.
The breast milk would be so thin that she would be hungry like every hour, and I was just like, it's not enough. And then when formula fed, she was good for 2 hours, 3 hours, and I was like, okay, like, this is easier now.
I want to hear something.
Okay.
I want to hear the fucking story of the Wick lady.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. Okay.
Oh, this is a juicy one.
Let me get fucking comfortable. Okay. So I have WIC, and when I had called to tell them that I'm switching to formula because I needed more formula, this freaking lady, I wanted to punch her so hard in the face. She was just saying and everything under the sun to not get me to change the formula. Oh, well, you're not breastfeeding anymore? And I'm like, no, like, I physically cannot do it. Like, I'm telling her, like, I physically cannot do it. And she's like, oh, well, it's the best thing for your baby. So, like, are you sure? It's scientifically proven, like, the best thing for your baby. I breastfed my babies. And I was like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm telling you. And she's like not changing it to formula this entire conversation. And she goes on and on and on. This is like a 45-minute conversation of just her talking about how I should breastfeed and how it's better, and how, like, oh, I should try this, and I should try vitamins, and I should blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, lady, just put in what I want and stop talking to me. Like, I don't give a fuck if you think it's better. I don't care if you breastfed your fucking kid or not. I physically cannot. And she did not want to hear me say that I couldn't do it. She was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
you want to continue to try breastfeeding, and I'll add half the formula. And I was just like, okay, like, I guess I'll do that.
You ended up doing that.
I ended up doing half and half, and then I changed it a week or two later.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was just like,
this lady was forcing it. She was forcing it. You were literally like, there's nothing coming out of my boob. Like, my baby is not eating enough. I need to do formula. And she did not want to fucking hear it. She was literally like forcing it. And it's like, don't you understand that the mom fucking knows best? It was already so hard for Kai to fucking not breastfeed. It was so fucking sad. She felt, she already explained that. Felt so fucking sad about it. And then it pissed me the fuck off. This fucking lady was literally making you feel like even more shitty about it. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, she's like, well, you need to breastfeed. I was just like, well, bitch, I literally cannot.
Like, she's like, you fucking think I don't want to? Like, the fuck? Like, in your fucking perfect world, I fucking would be. But it doesn't fucking work like that for every fucking bitch. Like, just because you fucking did it, well, consider yourself fucking lucky, bitch. Oh, it pissed me off so bad because you're already fucking going through it emotionally.
Yeah, I was already fucking, like, crying all the time, like, super sad that I couldn't do it. And then this bitch comes in, talks to me for 45 fucking minutes about how I should continue to do it anyway. And I'm like, bitch, look, I physically could not do it. Like, stop talking to me.
Oh my god. And then finally at the end, well, you could do half and half. Yeah, well, I fucking can do whatever the fuck I want to. The fuck? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, the WIC people are definitely trained. Like, every time I'm talking to a WIC person, you're still breastfeeding, right? Okay, even though I say I'm still breastfeeding, they still go on the spiel.
Yeah.
And I understand that's what they're trained to do, but these training, the training system or whatever the fuck needs to reevaluate, because they could do some serious fucking damage, like, on people mentally, because they didn't know if you were fucking wanting to kill yourself or something because you couldn't breastfeed. They don't know what the fuck it meant to you.
Exactly. And already people feel so horrible about not being able to breastfeed. Like, not to throw, I have a friend, she just gave birth, and she said that she had to formula feed like the next day or something. She's like, I felt so horrible. And I'm like, don't even fucking feel bad. Like, if you can't do it, you can't fucking do it. And your baby still needs to fucking eat. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't fucking matter.
Like, the baby just came out. What the fuck are we playing around with?
Yeah.
You know, like, if you notice the baby's not getting fed, the baby just came out of your body. It's like the baby is entering this alien world. Yeah. Like, it's all it's ever known was instant feeding inside of your stomach or whatever, and then it comes out and now it's fucking starving. Like, how sad is that?
Yeah, and doesn't know what to do. Doesn't know if to cry, doesn't know why the fuck it's starving or why there's no constant food coming in. Like,
okay, so I have a story too.
Go ahead.
Okay. The first time I gave Minka formula was very fucking dramatic for me. I was so fucking dramatic about it. Like, it was the first time that I actually saw like real blood pouring out of my nipple. And
I remember.
It scared me so bad. And she had given me hickeys all over my boobs. The pain of breastfeeding at first, until she finally got the hang of it, like a long time later, was fucking gut-wrenching. She would be on, trying to eat, and my toes would be curling. And I was just like, my feet were moving and curling and going back and forth, and I was fucking like like that, and Eric's just staring at me like, oh my god, like, oh my gosh, so bad for you, you know? And then I'm like, tears down my eyes every single time. And then eventually even though I was using the cream all the time, I fucking bought the nipple shields. I got the fucking lanolin cream. I got the fucking, they have these like $30 cooling patches things that you put on. I used those, which I was using those incorrectly for the first fucking like 2 months. Oh, I was so pissed once I realized I was using those incorrectly, because it was like, it's a sticker sort of. Yeah. And I thought because it's in this jelly, it looks like a jelly circle, like a circle of jelly.
Oh, I have those. And it has
2 pieces of plastic. Okay, yeah, so you know, and it has 2 pieces of plastic on each side.
Yeah.
And one is clear and one is blue. And I thought it was, you just pull it straight out of the bottle thing or the container and you put it right on. I wasn't taking off the fucking plastic peel back thing. So, oh my gosh. And once I realized, like, hey, does this thing come off? Like, 2 months later, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding. But, okay, so I started bleeding. It's hurting so fucking bad. Like, I just couldn't. Oh, it hurts so fucking bad. And I call Eric's sister fucking wailing. I'm talking wailing. Like, I was like, Arlene, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh my god.
I can't. And she's like, don't, because they call me C. I'm not even kidding. And and they call me Cece. Eric's family calls me Cece. And Marlene's like, don't cry, Cece. It's okay. Don't cry. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And then she's like, well, do you want to try formula? Like, just give her some formula. And she's like, and I'm like, do you have any? Do you want to bring some? And then she's like, yeah, I'll come over right now. She goes and buys some, or maybe she had some on hand that was unopened, but it was brand new, and she came and brought it, and I was like, oh, I was so sad. I was so fucking sad. I remember when she drank it, it was like, I just had like something, my heart was just yearning, and it was so fucking sad for me. But I was like, oh, this is so much easier, you know? But I'm like, wow,
literally.
What do you know? It's so weird. Like, his sister fed her. I'm like, she's feeding her. Like, I don't even have to do it. But then I, like, something in me got, like, I don't know if, like, my maternal instinct was, like, felt jealous or something that someone else was feeding her. Mm-hmm. But Minka was, like, not really suckling on it that well because it's her first time using a bottle. You know, Marlene was twisting the bottle so she could kind of, like, get a grip on it and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe she's used to me feeding her. Let me try it. You know, like, I felt like maybe I got jealous or something. I don't know, but it was just like a postpartum thing, I'm sure. But, Oh my gosh, it was literally so dramatic. So that's when I started pumping. And that's when I discovered, oh, I can pump and Eric can fucking take a turn and feed her.
Yeah, freaking dads.
I know. Then at some point, I kind of wanted to use formula. Once I came to terms or whatever, in my mind, that like formula is totally okay. Like, really, once you started using it,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, it's totally fine. What the fuck? These people totally brainwashed everyone.
Brainwash is a fucking good word for it, because
That honestly, it's pretty accurate though.
yeah,
Like,
it's
it
pretty
might
accurate.
seem like a dramatic word, but it really is. Like, considering they would rather your baby starve than you use formula, it sounds like kind of a brainwashing situation.
Yeah.
But then once I started wanting to give her formula, and then she just like wouldn't drink it, so I just forced to breastfeed now, which is fine because now I'm forced to meet my goal of a year. Actually, my goal was 9 months, but probably gonna be a year, But yeah.
Yeah, that's what also was good about Mia. She didn't care. She didn't care if my breast milk was in a bottle. She didn't care if it was formula in a bottle.
She didn't care if it was cold.
She didn't care if it was cold, hot. She did not care. She was just so chill about it. And I think that's what also made me feel really comfortable about using formula, is because, okay, so when I was stopping, like I said, like it just dried up right away. So you're supposed to do 3:1 ratio breast milk to formula, then 2, then 1:3 or whatever. And I literally couldn't get to the 1:3 because my breast milk dried up so fucking quickly. So I just went, I took whatever I had left of breast milk and just like, was like, yep, that's it. And the next day she had full on formula, and she was just like, okay. It was like, it's okay, Mom, I got it. It's fine. I don't care. And I was like, oh.
She's like, good. She's like, this shit's thick. I like it.
She's like, damn, my belly full finally after 3 months.
Oh, also, if someone like thinks like, oh, well, maybe Kai could have done this different, or maybe she could have done this,
Yeah,
we
no,
don't
I
want
don't
to
hear
fucking
that.
hear it. So just in case there's someone like, we don't want to hear it. If she wanted to know, she would ask. So just in case, if you're thinking in your mind like, oh, I'll hit her up and tell her, no, it's already done with.
You will
And
get
it's
blocked
no.
immediately because I don't care. Like, this is my life. This is what I went through, and I don't care about your opinion.
Unless it's nice.
Unless it's nice. Then, unless you're like, oh, cute baby, or how are you? Like, then no.
But an unwarranted advice that no one asked for about something that was very dramatic, don't.
I'm telling this story for a reason, and we pick these topics for a reason, because we do have friends who are just now having babies who are also struggling with breastfeeding versus formula feeding. And so I'm not saying this to get anyone's like negative reaction or, oh, you should have done this, or I don't care. Like, I'm saying it so that they know that they aren't alone. Yeah.
They're not
and
alone.
If they need help, like, hit me up, and I will walk you through it, or I will be like a friend. Like, it's not for me looking for answers on why I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I decided to do it. It was better for me and my brain and my body. So that's it.
Yeah, because I feel like this is such an important topic, and no one ever, like, I don't know, I feel like I've never, but also I'm a first time mom, and I wasn't talking to like a plethora of moms when I was pregnant. Even now, I don't think I've ever heard a story like yours. And I never heard a story like mine with like Minka eating every 45 minutes till she was 5 months old. I've never heard that. Like, it must not be talked about enough, because I follow a million fucking moms on TikTok, and I haven't even heard one story about similar to that.
Even our own moms are like, I don't know, I breastfed and you're fine. Like, my mom was like, I don't know, like,
exactly. Did your mom breastfeed?
I think she did. I think she said that she did. I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I was a formula baby, but you wouldn't know because I'm hella smart. I'm just kidding. But
exactly.
But even if she was like, I don't know, like, just give her formula. Like, who cares? Like, she needs to eat regardless. It doesn't fucking matter as long as your baby fucking eats. Like, that's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my mom breastfed and she like it's like crazy to me that she literally like would breastfeed and then she'd pump and like go to work and do like 8-hour shift. Like for the moms who breastfeed and go like to work and have to pump at work and stuff, the times that I've pumped at work has just I hate pumping at work.
Yeah.
I fucking hate pumping in the car or pumping at work. I've pumped on the bathroom floor of a fucking school before. Yeah, because I'm just so used to like the boobs. Like I hate pumping. So I don't even know how the hell my mom did it. Like, and she said that she would, because we were in daycare, or I was in daycare when she did the pumping thing, and she would go on her break and bring the milk to the daycare.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, damn, you didn't you don't even get to eat on your fucking break. And that's what Eric's sister-in-law told me too, that because she's a nurse and she pumps in like one of the empty rooms or something like that. And she said sometimes you don't even get to eat because you're just spending the whole time pumping.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, it took me forever to pump. Like, I would do it while doing homework, and that would be like an hour. I couldn't imagine going to work, skipping my however long lunch break. Like, especially now that I'm teaching and like doing all this stuff, my lunch break is me going home. Like, so like it takes me 40.
Are you that close?
I live 40 minutes from the school I'm working at right now, from the summer, and so they have us.
And you go all the way home?
I go all the way home. Because I don't go back. I don't go back to the school. I fucking we teach, then we go home, then we have a meeting, for however long.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't imagine like on my lunch break like pumping in the fucking car like on the way home. Like just imagine that would be crazy.
Before we like stop talking about this topic, I have something really funny. Okay, so I was so anal about like making sure that Minka was eating or whatever, because you know you can't really tell how much they're eating or whatever, and she would be eating for so long that I was just like confused on the whole thing. But one of the doctors told me that you have to squeeze your boob, or you can squeeze your boob for 3 seconds while they're suckling, and then the baby takes a break to breathe, and then you let the boob go, and you let like apparently it fills back up, and then you squeeze it again. I don't know what I was doing with my hands that I couldn't like. Oh, I wanted to squeeze my boob all the way around the entire circumference of my boob rather than just like one part of it, because you know how there's ducts all around. I was so anal. I'm crazy. So I would make Eric put his hand and push down on the other part of the boob, like, you know, like on the top, and then he would push down like on the side.
Yeah.
And then he would like, I'm not fucking doing this every time. The fuck, like he pretty much said that. And I was like, what the fuck? Yes, you are. And then obviously it wasn't gonna happen. And then so I would put my fucking nose or my lips, I would put my head down to my boob and use my face to fucking push down on my boob. And I did that for a long time.
That's insane. Like,
that's the length I would go to. Oh gosh.
The things we do to feed our kids, honestly.
Oh yeah, let's talk about formula poop versus breast milk poop.
Oh my god, we're gonna go there? Okay.
Fuck it. We'll finish it off with that. Like, isn't it weird how when it's breast milk, the poop is really smooth, and then when it's formula, the poop looks like little, like, balled up pieces of erasers?
Like cottage cheese?
Well, for Minka, it looked like you know when you run down an eraser and the little pieces shave off?
Yeah.
That's how it looked like for Minka.
Plus, you go from, not only is it smooth, right, like when you're breastfeeding, but it also doesn't smell bad, like, or as bad. But when you go to formula, that just smells so bad. And Mondo, every time.
Or when they start eating real food.
Or when they start eating, yeah. Well, that's a whole different story. That's a whole new, like, it changes color. Like, she eats carrots, it's freaking orange. Like, I would make Mondo change her diaper. So, like, if I had to feed her, he would be on diaper duty. And he would go, he would literally almost vomit because the formula poop smell would be so strong. He'd go, ugh, ugh.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared when Mika gets older and her poop smells and I have to change it. Like, oh my god,
I'm not ready for that.
fucking...
But I mean, it's your kid,
I'm
so
not
like
ready.
it doesn't smell as bad as someone else's kid. And we'll talk about this in another
Yeah,
podcast.
it's kind of like your own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like your own shit. When you take a shit, it doesn't smell as bad. So it's probably when your kid takes a shit, it doesn't smell as bad as when you smell someone else's shit.
Yeah. But it literally doesn't. Like if I were to change someone else's poop, like I'd be like, ugh, this smells disgusting. But me, I'm like, whatever. Like even the other day, like I accidentally touched her poop and I was like, oh, ew. Like, but I just didn't care.
It's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was crazy because Minka's, even though she's eating food and stuff, her poop doesn't smell like that bad to me. Like, kind of still smells like a little sweet, if that's so gross. But it still kind of smells like a little sweet for me, even though she's eating breast milk, but she's also eating food, which, like, you can tell the difference now. But like when I was changing her diaper when we went to the beach and Jahaley smelled the shit, she's like, oh, I smell it, and I was like, really? Does it
doesn't like you don't even really smell it at this point. I don't smell it anymore. I'm just like, yeah, like I do, like we do, like we'll play around with her and be like, ew, you have poop, ew, but I literally don't smell it. I don't smell fucking anything anymore.
I do, like, did you popo? You popo. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Damn, we on a roll. Okay. What can we take away from this episode?
Basically, just feed your fucking kid. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. All these stigmas and, oh, your baby's gonna come out dumb. Oh, if you breastfeed, it's better. No, like, they're gonna come out the way that you raise them. So feed them whatever you can. It's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not that big of a deal. If you struggle with breastfeeding, do not hate yourself. So many moms go through it. Kai went through it, and her baby is fucking beautiful, so smart, cute as a button, just flourishing. And Minka is so smart, cute as a button, flourishing. Hell yeah. Like, so, and breastfed, formula fed, same shit. Don't let the wick bitch fucking tell you different. No. Literally. I guess that's it for today, right?
Yeah. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Cue the soundtrack. Hit it.